Hey guys, Suro and Disney here, and we're going to talk about the next three of Dr. Jimmy's Cryptic Performances, 7, 8, and 9. I know what you're thinking. Oh, and you're behind, and my response is kind of, but the reason why is because I'm doing them three at a time. And I really can't do 10, 11, and 12 yet because obviously I'm kind of stumped because there's something that's missing. I can't do 13 through 15 yet because something's missing. And I don't know if 17 is the last one or if there's going to be an extra one and it's not going to be odd or even, can't really tell. So, that being said, I can't really proceed. I guess I have to wait until I find out more. This will be the last video I do for a bit until I find out more. Casilda's back and giving hints to some of the originals now, so interesting. Very interesting to see what's going on. But let's talk about 7, 8, and 9. And if 7, 8, and 9 are proven to be what I think they are, I'm going to be very, very happy and very, very displeased at the same time. Let me explain what I mean. Alright, Cryptic Performance 7. Cryptic Performance 7 is the song I Am What I Am from La Cage aux Folles. And for those of you that don't know La Cage, it is basically a very, very famous musical that was written by Harvey Fierstein, and on top of that, there was an Americanized remake called The Birdcage, which was Nathan Lane and Robin Williams. Now, that has absolutely nothing to do with this clue. Harvey Fierstein has nothing to do with this clue whatsoever. Now, in the description bar of the cryptic performance that I'm talking about, it says, Dr. Jimmy and Bob sing about coming out into the spotlight, oddly enough, whilst they sit back in the shadows. Well, the first thing that pops to mind, as I choke on my throat here, is being out in the spotlight, alright? Kind of reminds me of a very evil red face that kind of pops in and out every once in a while. Not when you want to see at any time, but it's there. And it also brings me to believe that Cryptic Performance 7 is pointing to Insidious finally coming to Orlando. Now, I know a lot of you out there have been wanting Insidious for a long time. Insidious is one of the most popular mazes in the history of Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood, and it is something that a lot of you out there have wanted, but it's never worked out. This year, I think it's going to. Now, it's going to be different than Hollywood. So if you go to both events this year, if you're fortunate enough to do what I was going to do, but it fell through, it won't. 1 year, trust me, it will happen. You're not going to be able to see the same actual things in both maze and house. The reason why, Hollywood's I think will be more in tune with the third movie, the one that's coming out this year, and ours I think is going to be based upon a mixture of all three, kind of going more literally into the further. And I know that I believe truly this is going to be a share with Hollywood, given the fact it's one of the most popular, like I said, the most popular mazes in Hollywood history, one of them. And I already connected it to the code word post-punk, so yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go on record saying something that I'm going to say in tomorrow's video, which is a Hollywood video, by the way. Surprise. Everything that John Murdy has come up with, code word so far, is something I believe we're going to share. It is. But we can't really talk about the name game yet because I'm still trying to connect it. But yeah, I'm thinking it's Insidious. Here's the reason why. Patrick Wilson, who Dr. Jimmy gives me a lot of flack for bringing up the connection to Phantom of the Opera last year. It's all good-hearted ribbing. I have no issues with that. He's a jam-up guy. So his character of Josh is basically possessed by the character Parker. And it's about Parker trying to come out of the shadows and reveal his true self. He's had some mommy issues, kind of some Norman Bates-style mommy issues. And he's trying to come out into his true form, out in the spotlight, out of the further. So that's what I'm thinking is what we've got for that one. Okay, Cryptic Performance 8. Cryptic Performance 8 is Old Friends, Part 2, from Merrily We Roll Along. Now, this to me is talking about bringing old friends back to the event. Old friends we haven't seen since 5 years ago. Yeah, what I'm thinking right now is Old Friends is talking about a scare zone of sorts featuring the icons. Now, I don't know. Excuse me, I should have got something to drink before I started this. Now, I don't know which icons they're going to use. I would say, obviously, director, usher, storyteller, caretaker, Jack the Clown. Will we see Fear? Possibly. Will we see Lady Luck? We could. Will we see icons that never really were, like Eddie or Cindy Kane? Maybe. I don't think we see Bloody Mary because of, obviously, the contract with the haunt outside of Cleveland, but I think we could see Dr. Mary Agana. So I'm thinking this is pointing to old friends coming to see us again, and I'm thinking that's going to be the icons. So that's the only thing that comes to mind, really. Alright, let's talk about this, shall we? Alright. Cryptic Performance 9. How appropriate. For a long time, this has been one of my lucky numbers. Now it's 13. Which is funny, because if you look at what 13 is, not something that I absolutely love, but I'm curious, very curious about how it's going to work. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Alright. Now, the song is called Vanilla Ice Cream from She Loves Me. The lyrics, ice cream, he brought me ice cream, vanilla ice cream, imagine that. Later in the song it says, I'm so sorry about last night, it was a nightmare in every way, but together you and I will laugh at last night someday. Well, there's an Edvard Munch painting that's very, very familiar on Dr. Jimmy's Tumblr. There's the connection to Casilda Carcosa's clues. And it makes me oh so happy to say, I'm so giddy, legitimately. This is Scream. Yeah, it is. Oh my god, yes, this is. And I am so freaking excited about this. Anybody that knows me knows this is my horror movie. This is my horror franchise. This is what got me into horror in the first place. This and a little movie called Brain Scam, which I'm sure some of you have heard of. With Edward Furlong and Frank Langella. Now, here's the issue. Now, the MTV Movie Awards were recently, and they aired a trailer for an upcoming television series that's going to be running on MTV. Now, with the deal with my cable company, MTV is no longer available, so I'm going to have to watch this stuff online. But it's starting on June 30th. And there was a rumor that it wasn't going to start till October, but now they've pushed it up till June 30th. Yes. Almost 20 years to the day, not the day, but the date, the year, of the first released movie, we're getting a television series. And Scream the TV series is coming. As a matter of fact, there was a trailer that showcases Bella Thorne to be the Drew Barrymore this year. The famous actress that gets killed off in the first, and then we move on with our story. Now, there's some issues with this. Number one, obviously we're going to have a lot more technology when it comes to this. There was not all that technology back in the first Scream in 1996. And everything has progressed and progressed. And even in the trailer, it's talking about how do you do a slasher television series? We're not focusing on stab, and you don't necessarily see Ghostface. As a matter of fact, it's interesting because I've seen images of a very Leatherface-like Ghostface mask that is completely taking up the good old-fashioned black and white Fun World mask, which I'm sure they have to get the rights to. There's rumors that Ghostface may be supernatural. I don't know what I think about that. I don't know why they would go supernatural. The thing about Scream is the fact it's always grounded in reality. Bringing the supernatural into it, yeah, it just makes another stupid paranormal movie. In this case, being a television series. This is my franchise. This is the house I've wanted more than anything. Okay. Now, last year, I'm standing in line with my friend John, Psychomassacre Films, and my friend Matt, HHN Trogdor, and his friend, and we are getting ready to go through Halloween for the first time as a group. All right, this was on opening night last year. Now, for those of you that know him, Psychomassacre Films is a huge Halloween fan. And more than anything, I wanted to experience the house with him. Now, granted, I saw it preview night a couple days prior, but I still wanted to see the house with him. And anybody that knows me will want to go through this house with me. Now, I'm very nervous about this being the television series. I was writing notes last year, actually, about connecting everything, what I thought was coming via the video we did back in November, the 2.5 hour long video that some of you hopefully saw. And I was trying to connect everything from 24 to what could possibly happen in 25. And I should have realized that I pretty much marked myself when I wrote television series, formerly a movie, now brought to the TV series instead of the movie. What would be our From Dusk Till Dawn this year? And I'm a little bit worried it might be Scream. I hope not. I really hope not. What I'm hoping is this is based on the movie, the 1996 film that I fell in love with. I want to hear Roger Jackson's iconic voice coming out of the walls, the speakers. I want to be walking down a corridor and being chased by Ghostface. This is what I want to see. I want to go through Woodsboro, and I want to live to tell about it. I hope that's what happens. I want that to happen. When I said I wanted Scream, hopefully I don't get the be careful what you wish for, Owen. Because that would suck. But as anything, I'm willing to give anything a shot. These originals, who knows how good they're going to be. And if our IP lineup is true, and it sounds like it probably is, this is going to be a pretty solid year. Now granted, you're talking to somebody that has been going to the event since 2012, and that was the first year I went to the event. I have no knowledge of scare zones before last year. I have no knowledge of the icons at all, and I have no knowledge of these classic houses that everybody raves about. I just seen video and pictures. I hope this year I'm able to get the best of both worlds. I'm very excited about Halloween Horror Nights 25. And if this is true, I'm getting my house, and it's based on the movie, not the television series, I can just say right now, without a doubt, when I hear the very iconic voice ask me what's my favorite scary movie, I'm going to look with my best Jamie Kennedy and say, Showgirls. Appropriately. So that's what we got. 7 is Insidious. 8 is an icon scare zone of some sort that is playing up icons that are iconic. How appropriate. Iconic icons. Redundant statement, I'm aware. And possibly icons that never were. Excuse me. And Scream. And I'm so happy to say it. I said it in November. It's happening. Read back to that video in November. There's a lot of stuff I said that was going to happen. And a lot of it's starting to come true. Something to think about, huh? So, that's what we've got for this video and your decryption of 7, 8, and 9, at least what I'm thinking. So, as always, before we go, I do want to give a big shout out to Dr. Jimmy. And if you want to follow along with his Cryptic Performances, watch any of them in their entirety, you can do so by finding him on YouTube. It is Dockimo, D-O-C-K-I-M-O. And you can also follow the other Halloween Horror Nights updaters, like my good friend John, Psychomassacre Films, my good friend Neil, UKHHN, my good friend Matt, HHN Trogdor, my good friend Vic, Dr. Emmett Brown 1, I'm sure he'll be doing some Horror Nights videos soon, And you also can follow the other members of the Horror Nights Updaters, or Horror Nights Updaters as a collective. Just one word, Horror Nights Updaters. Check out the Red Steel TV, Deadly Fear 1283, Mr. Horror Nights, my friend Tristan, HHN Fan 16, The Crazy Englishman, just Crazy Englishman, First Class Horror, and Horror Squad TV. If also you are inclined, check out some of the really great message boards on the internet. Horror Night Nightmares, Orlando United, and Orlando Informer, as well as some great Halloween Horror Nights related content at HHN Crypt and designingfear.com. So that being said, also, as we're continuing to get real information very soon, you can check out the official Halloween Horror Nights Orlando Twitter at Horror Nights ORL. And if you'd like to check out my Twitter, it's at Sir Disney. Follow me on Twitter if you'd like. Friend request me via Facebook, Owen Disney. You can feel free, if you'd like, to send me a message via my email, sirowen@gmail.com. So, in the meantime, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.